So I recently posted a picture of everything I picked up recently, and I asked you guys what you wanted to see first. Well, the results are in. I have a full face of new makeup, and I'm really excited to dig in and create a look. So I'm going to be using the NOMAD Romeo and Juliet palette. This is new to me. And I also picked up the e.l.f. Soft Glam. I have the NYX Buttermelt Blush and Bronzer. I have the FENTY blush because I think we may have a dupe, and a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are interested in seeing me create a look with all of this, then just keep watching. If this is your first time here, my name is Heather. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe and become a part of our community. But I'm really excited to dig in and try out some of these products. Some of them I have already tried off camera, and I'll explain all of that once we get there. But I'm really excited to create a look with this. I'm excited to see if I can create a look with it, because I actually forgot that these shimmers were hard pressed. So I'm thinking I might be able to get them to work with my Singe Beauty E01 brush, but we'll have to see. But first things first, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys zoomed in, and I'm going to pull my hair back, and then we are going to get started with the foundation. So on my lips, I actually have this on. This is a new to me product as well. It is the Kosas Plump and Juicy Lip Collagen Booster, and it feels really nice, but my lips were a little dry, so I wanted to go ahead and try that out. When I saw this e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, I bought it immediately. I've actually had it for quite a while. I picked up the shade Fair Cool, which I hope is the right shade for me. But this is supposed to be a medium buildable coverage with a long-lasting wear. It is 1% hydrating with hibiscus complex. But I'm excited to give this one a go. So I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. Right now, the only thing that I've put on my face is my sunscreen, which is the one from e.l.f. And I'm really loving that. You guys suggested it to me, and it was a freaking great suggestion. But on this side of my face, I'm going to use the brush, and then on the other side, I will use a sponge and just see. I hope this is the right shade. It looks like it might be a little too light. I've been cutting my grass this summer, well, spring, summer, whatever we're in, and I've gotten a little bit of a tan on my face, so it's a little darker than it usually is, and I think this might be a shade too light, but hopefully with bronzer and stuff, I'll be able to make it work. I'm a little unsure what I think about it. It seems to be grabbing on some dry patches. Like I have a dry patch here and then one here, and I also have a few breakouts at the moment. So I don't know. And keep in mind, I didn't use any primer because I just wanted to see how this worked on its own. It's definitely a medium coverage, but I can see brush strokes through this. So I'm going to go ahead and try the other side with the sponge. Like I said, I think that might be the best bet. I think that could be why I'm not crazy about it. That, and I got the wrong freaking shade. So now let's give the sponge a try. It definitely is giving medium coverage. Yeah, I definitely need a deeper shade. This one may work for me in the winter time, but it's a no for the summer. The sponge side looks way better than the brush side, so I recommend using a sponge. If you guys pick this up, I think you might like that a lot better. I'm just going to go over this other side. I think where it looked like it was clinging to the dry patches, it was actually the brush strokes making it look like that. I almost always use a brush with my foundations, but I think this one definitely looks better with the sponge. I'll have to try to remember that. My eyes look so bad right now, but I wanted to give you guys a more up close look at it. But I think it looks beautiful on the skin. So I don't have new brow products or a new concealer, so I'm going to go off camera and do those, and then we will be back to talk about the blush and the bronzer. I am back and my brows are done. Brows really make the biggest difference, at least I think so. But anyways, let's talk about this e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I have it in the light shade. I've heard Betty Jean recommend this a lot, but one of you also recommended it to me, and I'm really loving it a lot. I'm actually shocked how much I like it. It does a really good job at setting like under my eyes and stuff, in my face. Usually, like, I have wrinkles under my eyes, so usually they will still crease no matter like what I do, but this setting powder actually sets them to where they don't crease, but it looks so beautiful on the skin. It still like kind of lets your glow shine through, but at the same time it still sets it, which makes me super happy, and I think it looks really good under the eyes. Usually the light shade is not light enough to set under my eyes, but I feel like this one does a really good job. Now, I don't want to set my whole face because I really want to be able to see like how this foundation wears, but I'm going to have to set my T-zone or else my smile lines will crease and all my forehead wrinkles will crease. I'm thinking about getting bangs. I know this is such a sidetrack thought, but I'm thinking about getting bangs because I have the worst freaking lines on my forehead, and it's from raising my eyebrows so much, and it drives me absolutely crazy, and I just think bangs might help. Plus, I have a huge forehead, and it might help, you know, make it look less huge. But that's the powder. I really highly recommend that one. It's such a good one. So thank you to the other Heather for recommending it to me. I'm really glad that I picked it up. But next, we're going to use the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. Now, I picked this up in a shade, and I actually tried it out in a different video a while back. But this is the new shade, and I want to try this one out on camera as well. Now, this bronzer blends so freaking easily. It's such a good formula. I'm really into it. I fell in love with it, and that's what made me really want to try the blushes in the same like packaging. Now, when I picked up the blushes, I picked up 2 shades, and I got my package and they had only sent me one. And then when I tried to get them to send me the new one, a new one out, everything was out of stock. So I had to get a refund. But I still plan on picking up more shades. I know the blush formula, there are matte ones and shimmer ones. You kind of just have to like look through and pick out the formula that you want, but I've been really into the glowy blushes lately. But you can see like it adds the perfect amount of bronze. It blends so effortlessly. It really is a great product. And I believe they're like $10, which isn't bad at all either. I'm really into the cream products right now still, but I love a good like matte bronzer as well. Is this matte? This has like a little sheen to it, but it's very, very light. It's not completely matte, but it's close. It just looks like your actual skin. It looks healthy on the skin. It doesn't have any kind of glitter or anything like that in it. But I like to put a little bronzer underneath my lip. I feel like it makes my lips look better once I have them lined and stuff. Not better, but bigger. I just like the look of it. And I like to take some down the sides of my nose. And I always put some under my chin as well. I mean, I know this is more of a contour thing, but I do it with my bronzer too. It works. Trying to put some shadow under there. And that is the bronzer. Again, I highly recommend these. I love the sleek packaging as well. It's really, really beautiful. But next, a lot of you wanted to see the NYX Buttermelt Blush, but I had one person ask about the Fenty. These are two different colors, like completely. So my plan is I'm going to do one on each cheek, and then after I show you guys what they look like, I'll mix them. But I think these formulas are a dupe for each other. I don't know, like, if they have similar colors or anything. I'm really going to have to, like, look into that. But the formulas, when swatched out, feel and look very similar. So I'm kind of excited to give this a try. So for the NYX blush, I have the shade Feeling Butta. Oh, I didn't tell you about the bronzer either. In the bronzer, I have Buttercup. But the blush, I have the shade Feeling Butta, and it's really, really pretty. It's one of the glowy ones, but I'm just using an angled brush, and we're going to give this one a go. It has like the perfect amount of like glowiness to it. I love the color as well. It's a bit deep for my very pale skin, but once I get it applied, I can always like go over it with like some setting powder or something to try to lighten it a little bit. I probably should have gotten a like lighter shade, but I didn't think. And see, I just used a little setting powder to blur the edges of that one. But then I want to go in with the one from Fenty Beauty. These are called the Hot Cheeks Velour Blush Lighter. And I picked up the shade Baked Peach. The packaging on this is so freaking beautiful. But it looks like this, very similar to the Fenty highlighter. I love those Fenty highlighters so much. It's actually probably my favorite highlighter in my whole collection. But it's like the formula is almost exactly the same. I mean, the colors aren't really too far off. This one's a little like deeper, more neutral, and this one has that peach undertone. But I'm telling you, the formulas are basically freaking dupes. If you have both of these, let me know what you think down below. They're both really easy to blend out. I mean, you get beautiful pigmentation. I kind of went in with a little too much on this side, but just to give you a good look, let me show you. This is the NYX side. And then over here is the Fenty side. And you could see they're very, very similar. I really enjoy them both so far, but I'll have to leave like wear notes and stuff down below. But the way they went on and their level of pigmentation, I really don't think I'm going to have an issue with them. But now I'm going to fix this and make sure my cheeks match, because I do have other videos to film today. And I don't want to look too crazy. I wear a lot of heavy blush, but I also wear a lot of heavy eye makeup, so I feel like it kind of balances out once everything is complete. But next, I want to move on to my lip products. So this one, I think it's called, the brand is called Formula Z. I got this in a boxy charm, but it came with a sharpener and 4 lip liners. It's like lip liner duos. They look like this. Each one has like 2 lip liners on it, but I swatched these already and they like did not budge at all. But it says that the reason there's 2 is so you can do like a contour, but it has vitamin E, hyaluronic acid, and watermelon fruit extract. But the colors of these are really, really pretty. So for today, I think I'm going to go in with the shade Jet Set on this end. Lip liner is not something I'm very good at. I'm still learning. And there's lip liner. Like I said, I'm still learning. I'm like so bad at putting it on. But then I picked up one of the Fenty Beauty Icon lipsticks and the case. So the color of lipstick I picked up is shade number 4 called Mother Lava. Every time I say that, it makes me think of Shaggy, but I really want to try out this formula. I have been for a while. The packaging on it is really cool. It looks like this, and then you twist the end and it comes out, but the shade is really pretty. This might be the wrong color of a lip liner, but we will make it work. It's a matte formula. I love the shape of the bullet. It kind of like hugs your lips, but I think that's really pretty. I'll have to see how it wears and stuff, but I am happy to have it in my collection finally. But next, we're going to dig into the eyeshadow palette. I have highlighters as well, but I'll wait to see which one I should use to like after my look is done. So for the eyeshadow palette, it is the Romeo and Juliet one from NOMAD. I really love the packaging. I think it's so beautiful, and I really love like the love and death side of it. I think that's really cool. But as I mentioned in the intro, I actually forgot about them having hard pan in these shimmers. So I'm kind of eager to see if I can get them to work. I think I can with the Singe Beauty E01 brush. The way it's shaped, I think I should be able to get it to work just fine. But we'll have to see that once we get to the shimmer part. I do have an eye look planned out. I think I'm going to go in with the shade Paradise, a little bit of Balcony, and then these 2 matte shadows. And I know I want to use Tragedy on the lid, but I don't know which other shimmer I want to pair with it. I'll have to like see once we get to that part. But to start this out, I want to go in with the shade Paradise right here, and I'm just using this small shader brush from MOTE, and I'm just going to press this in the inner portion. It is the lightest shade that I'm going to work with. So I'm going to try to keep this here in the inner part for now, at least. It looks really pretty. I mean, that shade feels just fine. I don't know if the mattes are hard pressed as well, but next I'm going to use a larger shader brush. This one is from Glamlight, and I want to go into the shade here called Dagger. It's like a cool tone, purple, mauve situation, and I want to press this along the crease. It's definitely pulling purple on my undertone. But I'm just using this brush to slightly blend it out. And I like taking my eyeshadows at an angle, and I'm just building it up as I go. I remember when this released, I wanted it so bad, but at the time I couldn't afford it. There was no way, so I had to skip on it, but I'm glad that I finally have it now. But now I'm just using a large blending brush. This one is from Singe Beauty, and I just wanted to blend over those edges. Like this alone, I think is pretty. Like pop one of the shimmers on the lid. Now I want to go in to the shade Balcony, and I'm using that large blending brush, and it picked up really nicely. And I'm just going over the edge of this purple shade. I'm kind of going over the whole thing, and then I'll just go back in with that first shade. And I want to make sure the pink connects with the inner corner. I mean, this color combo is kind of awesome. But now I'm going to go back in with that Glam Light brush and pick up more of the shade Dagger. And I'm just going to deepen up the crease, re-intensify the shade. And then I'll go back in with the large blending brush with no extra product and just kind of go over all of that. I love NOMAD's matte formula. It's so easy to blend and work with. It's just always a good time. But then I want to go into the shade Dark, and I'm using that same Glam Light brush, and I just want to see like how pigmented this is. And it's pretty pigmented. I'm going to switch over to my Unearthly Cosmetics number 5 brush and pick up some more of that. I like to kind of deepen up this outer corner and accentuate that cat eye shape. It's my favorite way to do eyeshadow on me. For my eye shape in particular, I just think it looks the best. Now I'm going to go back into Dagger, which was that lighter purpley color, and just blend out those edges again. And then I'm going to go back into Balcony, which is that brighter pink. I'm basically just doing a quick run through of all these colors. And same with Paradise, which was that first shade I put down, the pale pink. And this is the top crease. I'm going to do the same thing on the lower lash line real quick, and then we're going to try to figure out how to get these shimmers to work. But I'm back, and I really love this matte situation, if I do say so myself. I think it turned out really beautiful. I love the warmth mixed with the cool tones in those purples. I think it turned out really cool. But I'm going to apply some NYX glitter glue to the lid. I'm stuttering over here, but I just want to give these shimmers their best chance. So now I'm going to go in with my Singe Beauty E01 and really hope that this actually picks up, which I think it might. There's a good chance. The way this brush is shaped, I don't know if you guys can see, but it kind of like tapers in, but it makes it easier to pick up those more difficult shades to pick up. So I'm really hoping that that will be the case with this. But I want to go into the shade here called Tragedy. I'm pretty sure this is a multi-chrome. At the very least, it is a duochrome. But as you can see, it did pick up. But let's see how it applies. That shade is freaking gorgeous. Wow. I'm going to use a little setting spray as well. Also, on this Glamlight setting spray, the package, I don't know if it's mine or all of them, but this sprayer on here is faulty, and it kind of gets stuck every time I use it. I have to, like, press down. I mean, every time I spray it, I have to pull this part back up to get it to spray again. But I wanted to update you guys on that. But as you can see, I mean, it's picking this up really, really well. So if you have this palette, I recommend picking up the Singe Beauty brush. She does sell them all individually, or you can buy them all in a bundle. But it is the Singe Beauty E01. I always have these brushes linked in my description box if you guys are wanting to pick them up. But it's doing a beautiful job. But now let me figure out what I want to do with this inner corner. Okay, I think I want to do the shade Romeo and Cupid. Romeo is this really pretty shade here, and then Cupid is there. And as you can see, these are hard panned. I don't know if you could tell on camera, but they definitely are. But when I use the brush, if you kind of just go in a circle, it does pick it up. But I want to put, what is this called again? Romeo. I need to spray this. Right here on the edge of this. Did I spray this? Spray this. See, I got to pull it up and then spray. And it sucks because the sprayer on it's actually really nice. But I just want to put Romeo right here on this very edge. Just a little bit of it. And that one's a little drier than the other one. That formula feels different. I don't know if it's where it was hard pressed or what, but next I want to go into the shade up here called Cupid. And I'm going to put this over top of most of that and in the inner corner. And I just used my finger to apply it. It was easier. But I'm going to be straight with you. This shade looks really weird on the lid. The way that it... And put some down there as well. But hold on, I'm going to show you what I mean. It kind of looks like a old wrinkly ball sack, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's like kind of thick. You see, like, ew. So, I mean, take that for what you will. I can't, guys. It looks so bad. For the sake of not having to look like I have balls on my eyes for all the other videos I have to film, I'm going to remove this and find something else in my collection to replace it with. I'll be right back. Freaking nightmare. So I've fixed the front part of my eye, and for the sake of keeping this only NOMAD, I pulled out the New Zealand Stargazing palette. I freaking love this palette, but I'm going to go into this shade down here. It is a gorgeous, like multi-chrome. You can't really tell. It's one of those like more iridescent shades. Looks freaking beautiful. And I can guarantee you it will not make my eye look like that other shade did. That was so bad. So bad. I'm going to go over the edge of this other shade that I used in that palette. Now I'm going to pick up the palette that I'm actually using, and I'm going to pull out more of the shade Tragedy on my finger, and I'm going to bring it in and just kind of go back and forth with tapping motions to really help these two shades blend together. I'm going to use a little bit of this shade Southern Cross down here. It's a beautiful multi-chrome, but I'm going to use that to help blend them together because it's a little too light. But that looks so freaking much better. The shimmers, I feel like the one that I used, Tragedy down here, is really good, this one. And I think you may be able to get away with Moss, but with the other shades, the three on this side and this shade right here, I don't think you're going to be able to get them to work, which is very unfortunate, especially because I really do love and enjoy NOMAD palettes. But I kind of don't understand why they would choose to keep selling a palette when they know it's not like up to par. But I'm going to use my Cinch Beauty E01, and I'm going to put some of this shade in my inner corner. Like, I can't wait to show you guys the up close. I think this eye look turned out beautifully. I mean, and it wasn't easy. You guys saw that. I almost forgot that I want to do highlighter. I need to set my face first. This freaking setting spray is so annoying. But then I want to go in with some highlighters. So I got two from Unearthly Cosmetics. I have two more. This is the shade Spectre, and she is so pretty. It has like a really pretty blue purpley shift, and that is what it looks like. It's got a little bit of pink to it too. So stunning. I freaking love these low light highlighters from Unearthly Cosmetics. I really love the liquid ones too. But then we have the shade Spellbinding, which I think is the one I'm going to be using for this look. Let me dry my hand. It's so, oh my God. Mirage is so good too. It's one of my favorites, but look at that. Freaking sickening. But we're going to give this a go, which I already know it's about to be so good. So I'm just using a highlighting brush. This one is from ColourPop. And we're going to add this to the cheeks. You can already stunning. And there is that side. I think it's beautiful. I love it. Like I said, I really enjoy the low light highlighters from Unearthly. But now I'm going to go finish the other eye off camera along with lashes and liner. And then I'll be right back to give you guys my first impressions on some of these products and my final thoughts on some of them. I am back, and this is the finished look. So I took off the Fenty Beauty lipstick. It gave me that white ring around my mouth, and I'm not into that. So I switched it up, and I went in with my Unearthly lip liner in the shade Carnage and my Unearthly gloss in the shade Pollen. This is one of my favorite glosses right now, and so I had to use it. But as for the finished look, I really do like it. I'm glad that the New Zealand Stargazing palette could save the day. I have no idea how well I'm in frame, but I wanted to give you guys a close-up of the makeup and my fine lines, but I wanted you to be able to see like what the foundation and stuff looks like up close. But let me give you guys a run through of my thoughts on all of these products. So as I mentioned with the Fenty lipstick, I think it's a beautiful shade. The packaging is really fun as well. I just don't like that ring that it puts around the mouth. And to be honest, I don't really like matte lipsticks. I like a satin and I like a gloss, but matte just really isn't my vibe. I have lines in my lips and I feel like they always accentuate that. And that's just not my favorite thing. But next, we have the e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. So it's actually been an hour since I finished this look. I was eating a muffin and playing with my dogs, but it is super hot here. Like, we have a heat advisory for the whole week, and I'm in the attic, so it's hot as hell up here, to be frank. And this foundation is holding up so nicely. It looks beautiful on the skin. I'm truly just shocked at how good it is. I'm really happy that I picked this up. I think it's a good product so far. And I'm excited to try it out in a bunch of different ways. Just remember, it does look better with a sponge than it does a brush, at least in my opinion. And then we have, I showed you sunscreen, which you already know about. We have the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. Like I mentioned as I was applying it, I think this formula is fantastic. It's one of those effortless types of bronzers. It's a really good one, and I truly couldn't recommend it more. Same with the e.l.f. powder. I feel like e.l.f. is pulling out like some freaking crazy good products right now, and I really have my eye on them because they're a brand I've been excited about. And I'm dropping stuff. Let me make sure I did not break this. I did not. But then we have the NYX Buttermelt Blush. Like I mentioned, I'm almost positive that this is a complete dupe for the one from Fenty. Now, the packaging on the Fenty one is prettier. And I do like the shade I got from Fenty more. The one that NYX was supposed to send me that they didn't was an orange, which you guys know how much I love orange. So you probably know how upsetting that is. But both of these are great formulas. If you like a more glowy blush, I do think you will like them. I'm excited to try out the matte ones of these and see how I feel about them. But if this blush and this bronzer is any indication, I really think I'm going to like them really well. Like, the wear time is great on those. And so far, I think they're really fun. And I truly could not rave more about the Unearthly Low Light Highlighters. They are freaking chef's kiss. So good. And so far with these liners, I think I like these. They didn't seem to budge or move. I don't know anything about this brand, to be honest. I'm going to have to look these up for you guys. I don't know the price range or anything like that, but they are a really good product. And I do like that you get 4 for the price of 2. I think that's pretty cool. And then we have the Kosas lip product. I think this is good. Is it anything to like go break your neck to try to get on the internet to buy? No. I mean, to me, a lip mask is a lip mask. I haven't found that one that just really blows my mind, but it is a good product, and the packaging is really cute too. And lastly, the NOMAD palette. You guys know that I love NOMAD. I love them so much, and thankfully, out of the 6 palettes I have, I've never had this issue before. But unfortunately, the shimmers in here are a no-go. Like, you have 1 or 2 that are workable, but the other ones are not at all. Like, my lid looked ridiculous, and that's kind of disappointing. I know this palette came out a long time ago, so it does make me wonder why they're still selling it when they probably know that it's got these hard pressed shimmers in it. And that makes me a little sad, but I honestly can't recommend that palette. Now, the mattes in it are fabulous. I love them. And you guys know how much I love NOMAD. I mean, they were the first brand to ever send me PR. So it sucks that I have to say I do not recommend that palette. It is not worth it. It's beautiful. The color story is beautiful. The packaging's beautiful, but that is a no-go. If you were going to pick up a NOMAD palette, they are about to release a new one where they're doing the guessing game over on Instagram right now. But if you want one that's already in stock, I do highly recommend the New Zealand Stargazing palette. I mean, it's beautiful, and it totally came in and saved this look, which I really appreciated. But that is it. Also, I wanted to let you guys know my liner is the ColourPop shade Amethyst Hour. But that's it. I had a lot of fun trying out all these products. Got a little dicey there with the eyeshadow, but all in all, I feel like it turned out really, really well. But you guys are going to have to let me know what you think of this look. What do you think of these products if you've tried them? I would love to hear your thoughts down below, but I'm sure everyone else would love to hear them as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, I really hope you will. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And until next time, bye.